It's January 2017, so it's time for another monthly update video. But since it's the beginning of a new year, I'm going to talk about 2016 as a whole and then also talk about what's coming up in 2017 with what's going on in January sandwiched in between. As usual, I like to begin by talking about three big things that I'd like to put on your horizon right at the beginning of the month. One of these is that we've just brought out a new course in the Reason.io Academy, Worldviews and Values. So I'll talk a little bit about that in the January section. The second is I'm hoping by end of the month to have a little short book on Stoic dogmata, that is sayings or ideas that are ready to hand about anger, ready to be downloaded by people that find it useful. Third big thing is that on the 12th, 7 p.m., we'll have our first talk of the year in the renewed Worlds of Speculative Fiction series. This is a local talk here in the Milwaukee area. It will be on Philip Jose Farmer's River World series, and so that's part of the Worlds of Speculative Fiction series. That is some of the big stuff we've got on the horizon. So let's talk about 2016 as a whole. There's been an awful lot of complaining about what a dismal year it was by a lot of people, but I think it's actually been not so bad of a year when you look at some of the other ones. And for us at Reason.io, it's been a very important year of building and getting a lot of important things done. I gave a number of talks. I didn't even bother to count them up. They're somewhere in the double digits, probably I would say somewhere between 30 and 40 talks at various locations, places, audiences, maybe even more than that this past year. We had that Worlds of Speculative Fiction series that was quite popular, and we've been renewed for another year of that. We did the Philosophers in the Midst of History series with partnering with another library. That's a quarterly series. That has also been renewed, so we're doing 4 new philosophers for that coming up. And I give a number of talks on Stoicism and on Aristotle at various venues over the course of the year as well. I got quite active, more than previous years, in doing one-on work with clients. Some of it was tutoring. I've actually got quite a few really interesting projects underway with some regular tutoring with clients, doing some pretty cool stuff, as well as the normal, hey, I need to study for this exam. Can you help me out, Dr. Sadler, kind of tutoring. Philosophical counseling. I've been helping out a number of other clients, and some of them are ongoing. Some of them have successfully worked through whatever issues they came to me with, which is always great to see. Been doing some executive coaching as well. That's also very interesting and stimulating to do. I've been engaging in quite a bit of what we could call public writing. I took over the editor position at Stoicism Today, sort of the flagship journal for the modern Stoic movement. And I wrote a few pieces for that, but I edited an awful lot and solicited even more than we had. I successfully resuscitated my main blog, Erexis Dianoetike, in probably the second half of the year. That's going along pretty well. I'm happy about that. Half Hour Hegel blog, I've been writing regularly there. Towards the end of the year, I started writing for another blog called Policy of Truth, which is the blog belonging to a good friend of mine, Irfan, and it's really an interesting community. I've been following that blog for a long time, and so I finally said maybe I should start writing something. And I also started answering Quora questions. That's sort of a sideline. It's not so much blogging as public writing in a different way. I have been also working on some academic writing. I got more done in terms of doing presentations than actually sending things out for review from journals and publication. I've been working on a lot of stuff having to do with Aristotle and anger, some things having to do with the Stoics and anger, and also I did, in fact, get something published this year, which is a book chapter in a book on St. Anselm, and mine has to do with Anselm and the dialectic between mercy and justice as discussed in his prayers. Did a lot of video work, as anybody who's been following my channel knows. As a matter of fact, I not only have been doing video work in this channel, but I also opened up a new channel, my History of Ideas channel, that you can find all these great Epictetus close reading videos in, and I'm going to be adding more things in there. So that I did an entire series, sort of like the half-hour Hegel stuff, but taking Epictetus's Enchiridion and going through it line by line, chapter by chapter. I'm very proud of that series. Half-hour Hegel, I got a lot of videos done. I didn't manage to get 6 every month, but most months I did, and so we've made some great progress. We're almost at the very halfway point of the work, which is great because we've already put in close to 3 years on that project. A lot of core concept videos. I did quite a few for Aristotle, the Nicomachean Ethics. I wanted to round out my discussion of the Nicomachean Ethics. I did a lot of Epictetus videos as well, core concept videos. I did a number of St. Anselm ones on the Monologion and a few other core concept videos here and there. And I also did a few personal videos, perhaps not as many as I would have liked. And I started a series of sort of frequently asked questions. I got one of them done about, can you do a video on this? I'll be doing more of those in the year to come. I also did quite a bit of teaching. All of it was online. I brought out some courses in our Reason.io Moodle, and that was good. We've decided that we're not going to keep up with that for the year to come because we're concentrating all of our efforts on the Reason.io Teachable Academy. That's a platform that lets us do a lot more of what we wanted to be able to do with online teaching, which is to offer classes that people can take, whether they're students or lifelong learners, working professionals, worldwide, anywhere that they want to. My videos are a big component of that, but I provide lesson pages, quizzes, discussion questions, handouts, worksheets, all sorts of really cool stuff for the people who enroll in these classes. So there's a link to that below if you're interested in that sort of thing. I've also got courses on Curious. These are sort of micro courses. These are for people who don't have quite so much time and they want to work their way through a video lesson or a series of lessons on classic works and ideas with some questions to test their learning and some handouts and links and things like that. We also did a lot of curriculum development, not only for Reason.io, but also for other clients and organizations. We offered a workshop for one of the local radio stations here. That was a pretty cool thing that we did in 2016. So quite a lot that got done here. Been a pretty busy year, and this is really our first year that we've been in Milwaukee for the entire time. We're really happy to be home, and so that was 2016. So what's coming up in 2017? Let's talk first about January. Already quite a bit going on there. So we begin the month with a half-hour Hegel online Q&A session. If you're interested in Hegel and dialectics and in German idealism, you might want to come into that. We're now going to be using a link to freeconferencecall.com rather than using Google Hangouts, which is probably going to make things a bit easier all around, and it'll allow us to bring more people in if we have a larger group that wants to meet. That will be on the 11th, which is a Wednesday, 5 to 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you're in a different time zone, you want to take note of that. Then the next day, we have our very first talk of the year locally here in Brookfield, which is a suburb of Milwaukee, and it is in the Worlds of Speculative Fiction series. It's on Philip Jose Farmer's River World series, a very cool set of books. and I'm really looking forward to that. By the way, we're doing something new with this Worlds of Speculative Fiction series, which is I'm building out a website, or I'm building out pages on the Reason.io website in order to make it easier for the people who want to participate in it to do so. There's going to be like resources and links, and when the video goes up, you'll see it there. So if you're interested in that series, you probably want to connect up with the Reason.io website. Those are the main things going on. There is one other big thing that we're doing here locally, which is that we are in the process. It's not yet scheduled, but we're in the process of putting together something like a Stoic meetup. There are many people who are interested in contemporary Stoicism, and we've decided that for the Milwaukee area, we're going to do the work to begin that. Hopefully we'll find some other people who are willing to step up in time and take it over. But somebody needs to get it started, so it's going to be under the auspices of the Stoic Fellowship. It'll be a meetup group. So if you're in the area and you want to get together with other people who are interested in Stoic philosophy and its applications, that will be something that you're going to want to check out. It's going to be a meetup group, and you'll see announcements for it on the Reason.io site. What else have we got going on? Well, online courses, the Reason.io Academy. I mentioned that there's the Worldviews and Values class that I opened up, or publicized rather, just a few days ago. And we're offering a special coupon code for that I'll put a link to down below. If you want to take it at a preferred price this month, that's great. So this is a course that was very popular when I developed it and taught it for a college several years ago. It was in high demand from the students because they really liked what I did with it. And people have been watching those videos and saying, boy, I wish I could be in that class. Well, now you can. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, we go over Plato, Epictetus, Boethius, Descartes, Hobbes, Rousseau, Wollstonecraft, Marx, and Martin Luther King. And we take some selected works from each of those. So Martin Luther King, Letter from a Birmingham Jail, parts of Plato's Republic, Boethius' Consolation of Philosophy, Wollstonecraft's Vindication of the Rights of Women, some selections from it, Hobbes' Leviathan, all those sorts of things. That is available in the Reason.io Academy. We're also going to be bringing out some other courses. And if I meet my ambitions for the month, you'll not only see a set of courses on Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics, but also Epictetus' Discourses. If I don't get all of that done, you'll see the Aristotle stuff and then see the Epictetus stuff the month after that. And we're going to be continually adding new courses over the year. I'll also be adding some stuff to the half-hour Hegel course that's already in the Reason.io Academy. If you're interested in that, you probably want to become a Patreon subscriber, because one of the perks is that you get into that course for free. Otherwise, it's $175. So all of that is going on for January, hopefully, like I said. I'm doing quite a bit of public writing, as opposed to academic writing. I'll be doing some editing work for Stoicism today. I don't think I'll be publishing anything in the new site for Stoicism today. I will be writing quite a bit in Orexis Dianoetike and in the Half-Hour Hegel blog. And I'm working on a piece for Policy of Truth, which is my friend Irfan's blog that I mentioned. I'm also working on a piece that hopefully will come out in the Partially Examined Life blog later this month. I'm working on a piece for another blog called Eidolon, which is about ancient culture in general. So we'll see how that goes. And I'll be answering some Quora questions. Like I also said too, though, I'm working on that book on Stoic dogmata concerning anger. So I should talk a little bit about that. What are dogmata? When you hear the word dogma, right? And you think about a belief or an idea that is considered important as something that you really should know for a religion or a philosophy or political creed or something like that. That's what the Stoics had in mind. And one of the things that the Stoics liked to do was to not just provide you these, that's the sort of thing they would teach, right, or write about, but as a learner, you would want to memorize them. You'd want to keep them ready at hand in your mind so that when you ran into a situation where suddenly this could be useful, you would be able to bring it out and say, aha, this is what I need. So I'm compiling a book, and I'll probably be doing a little bit of translation for it. I read the Greek and the Latin, so I can tweak them a bit to make them a little bit more contemporary if need be. But that's hopefully going to come out by the end of the month. It's fortunate January's got 31 days because there's a lot of stuff we're trying to get done. I'm also going to be doing some academic writing. Doing some stuff on the Stoics and some stuff on Aristotle. I'm not sure if I'll finish that by the end of the month, but we'll see. Videos. This is probably the thing you're most interested in since you're watching this on my channel. I'm going to be bringing out the remainder of the core concept videos on Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics, which have to do with Book 10 of the Nicomachean Ethics, which is about pleasure and a few other things. I'm in pretty good shape to get the 6 half-hour Hegel videos done for this month. And I'm going to be remastering some of the existentialism videos and inserting some breaks into them, boosting the sound on certain of them. And those you'll be able to find in my History of Ideas channel, not in this channel, but the History of Ideas channel. I'll also be doing some more of those Dr. Sadler Responds videos. There's quite a few questions that I get answered that I really should just have a video response to so I can link to it and people can watch it and then get their question answered or their issue addressed. I'm going to be doing some more personal-oriented videos, some of them about my philosophical development, phases I went through or why I'm committed to doing this kind of philosophy. Some of them more general about like why I'm doing philosophy on YouTube. And we'll see what else we can get done over the course of the month. What else? We're also heavily involved in doing some curriculum development, mostly focused on the emotion of anger for various types of clients. We do a lot of discussion and providing resources with that. It's one of my specialties. So that is what is going on in January of 2017. It already sounds like quite a bit, but fortunately it's early in the month. Let's talk now about 2017 more broadly. What else is going on this year, not just in January? So we already have some talks lined up, and we're going to be looking to get a lot more talks lined up. By the way, I should mention, if you're interested in having me come out and speak at your institution or organization, go ahead and email me, greg@reason.io. We're in the process of filling up the calendar at present, so now is a really good time, if you want that sort of thing, to get in contact with me. I'm already going to be giving a talk in October at Stoicon 2017. I've also got another talk coming up in March on Mary Wollstonecraft for Women's History Month. Those are already booked. And I'll be speaking at the St. Anselm Conference. I think this is the 6th St. Anselm Conference at St. Anselm's College, sponsored by the Institute for St. Anselm Studies. I'll be talking about Anselm and virtue out there. That will be, I believe, also in April. In addition to those, we already have, like I said, some of these library-sponsored series set up. So the Worlds of Speculative Fiction, that's 12 lectures, one each month, on some great classic or contemporary science fiction, horror, fantasy author. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Philosophers in the Midst of History, we're going to be doing a whole slew of new philosophers as well. And we're starting a new series partnering with another local library. It's titled something like Women Whose Works You Should Have Read, and we're focusing on female philosophers over the course of history. So, Elizabeth of Bohemia, for example. We'll have one on Mary Wollstonecraft. There's going to be a lot of great stuff in that. You can find out about that by looking at our calendar, looking at the website. Classes. So the Reason IO Academy, like I mentioned, we're now going with Teachable, and that's where you're going to find all of our longer, more substantive classes. If you want shorter stuff, you can, of course, go to Curious, and we have some content on there as well. But the longer stuff is all going to be available in the Reason IO Academy. We have a one free course, and I may put another free course in there. The rest of them are all at some sort of level. So we'll probably be bundling them together as well. But all that stuff, what I really want to talk about is the content, right? So we're going to be doing classes on great minds in philosophy, great texts as well. So I'm going to have a lot of Plato content coming out over the course of the year. A lot of Aristotle content, not just Nicomachean Ethics. I'm hoping that I might actually get to the rhetoric, right? Stoics. We have an Epictetus Discourses course that's going to be coming out, but I'm also going to be doing some work on Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, on what we know about the Stoics from Diogenes Laertes and Cicero and all that sort of stuff. We're going to do some other great minds along the way, probably like Descartes, Hobbes, we'll see who else, maybe Hume. Existentialism, I'm going to offer an actual class on that, but we're also going to have some standalone courses on particular figures and texts like Jean-Paul Sartre or Friedrich Nietzsche or, certain Kierkegaard. We'll see who we're able to bring up. I'm also going to be building an ethics course, well, actually a whole ethics curriculum. This is one of the things that I've been teaching for about 20 years, so I've got a lot of material and I've got a lot of other content that I'm looking to put into it. I've figured out what works, what doesn't work with students, so it's going to be some really cool stuff. And I'm going to focus mostly on 5 main moral theories. Various forms of egoism, utilitarianism, deontology, virtue ethics, and ethics of care, but I may also delve into some other stuff as well. We're hoping as well to bring out some courses specifically dealing with anger. Some of them will be more hands-on. Some of them will be more theoretical. Looking at various perspectives on anger. Although really, all of it's practical when you get down to it, because we all get angry. And then, if I have the time over 2016, I'd actually like to bring out a few courses. Working off of that Worlds of Speculative Fiction thing, dealing with some of the key thinkers. Like I would love to do a course, for example, on Philip K. Dick, or on Tolkien, or on A. Van Vogt, or some of these other great writers who I really enjoy. So we'll see if that happens. This is the big projection time. Public writing. I'm going to be working with all of those various blogs and platforms that I mentioned before, and we're looking to perhaps get into a few others. We'll see how that works. I'm sending out query letters to see if they want me to write for them at this time, but I don't want to make any big predictions and have them not come true. I will tell you this, that I am working on 2 popularly oriented books that I would love to see come out by the end of the year. One on Stoicism and anger and the resources that Stoic philosophy has for understanding, managing, lessening, dealing with anger. One working at the same sort of stuff, but from an Aristotelian perspective. So Aristotle on anger, there's a lot of great resources there as well. And academic writing. I'm hoping that this year I can actually get to all these conference papers and things that I've sent out before or things that I've been sitting on. I probably have anywhere from like 20 to 30 potential articles, some of them almost completely done, sitting on my hard drives that I just need to get around to sending out to journals and getting published. I'm also going to be working on my academically oriented Aristotle's Theory of Anger book, And I'm hoping to get some more work done on the Anselm and Mercy and Justice book, which I'm hoping would be a short book, like 100 pages or so, although maybe it'll turn out to be a bit longer. What else? We've got a lot of video stuff coming out over the course of the year. I've already mentioned, half-hour Hegel, core concepts. We'll have a lot of those coming out. I'm going to be doing more series like the Epictetus series that I did of close readings. You can expect to see, for example, Aristotle's Categories. I'm going to give it that sort of treatment again. I'm going to take Descartes' Meditations and do that line by line sort of reading. And you notice that I'm wearing this sweater. I don't know if you recognize it at all, but I'm going to be using this in another series because, for years when I've been lecturing in the classroom and people saw me with my hair down, and maybe if I take the glasses off, they would say, what? They would say that, oh, is the dude teaching philosophy? So, it's not a pure resemblance there, right? I have to do a little bit of voice work. But, give me a nice white Russian and some stuff to talk about, and maybe I'll do some filming with this as the dude. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. In any case, that is what's coming up in 2017. Hope it is a great, enjoyable, prosperous, and productive year for all of you. And we'll see you next month.